Well, hello, welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and welcome to episode number 119 of the Jesus Enrique Rosas Show. We are live through YouTube, on Rumble, and on X as well. If you want to support my channel, the easiest way that there is, there's no easier way than to like and subscribe wherever you're watching this from. And if you like podcasts like Spotify or Apple Podcasts or that format, you can find my show there as well. We got a packed show today. My voice is in a better shape thanks to this magical tea that some of you reached out to me and told me not to drink it hot, but at room temperature. And that's what I'm doing right now. So rest assured, right now I'm with my magical voice tea. It's working nice. Has been working nice. Today my voice has been, let's say, more or less top notch. Even so, this show is going to be most likely 2 hours long, maybe a bit. I don't know. I don't want to really talk about length, because the idea is to have a good time. The idea here is to have a good time, and let's see what are the topics. The main topic that you already saw on the title and description is whatever has happened to Savannah Guthrie's mother. Everybody is talking about this. People are asking, why are we talking about this instead of Epstein? Well, I have talked about Epstein enough in the past 5 days. Maybe we can address this as well. There are a couple more topics I want to talk about. Donald Trump going or backpedaling with ICE in Minnesota and in other states. What is this? What is this timeline that we're living in? What is going on? But that's his words, and we're gonna find out more about that. A clip from Erika Kirk taken out of context, in which she says that she wants no other theories or narratives spreading on social media once the case is over. Let's see if that actually happened. And we also have this, I needed to address this from Keir Starmer. I don't know if I'm going to do it today. Depends on the day, on the time. Depends on how much time do we got. Let's see if I address this today. Sora Mamdani. I have announced Sora Mamdani as a topic, like in the past couple shows, and I never get to talk about him. I don't know. It's like I find the guy so boring. It's like so predictable. This is the usual socialist story, but maybe we can address him very quickly. And there's something that I need to say about this AI Scott Adams doing the rounds out there. So you might already know, the man, the myth, the legend, Scott Adams, sadly passed away a few months ago. I don't know, months or weeks. It's like, you know how the time passes when you're on top of the news. And there are already AI impersonations of him. We need to address that, not only because of Scott Adams, but myself. Because, you know that when you have a show, and I plan to have hundreds and thousands of shows, it's like you can feed all them to a computer and you have some kind of digital twin or something like that. Would you watch an AI Jesus Enrique Rosas, a robotic Jesus Enrique Rosas? That would be, I don't know. I have my doubts. At least I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that I have tested the technology, but I'm gonna talk about that at the end of this show, making sure that let me see that how to say this, that everything is fine. Just making sure, checking my timeline. I'm on X and making sure that I'm on top of everything that is going on. And we are ready to begin. I'm keeping an eye on your comments. These shows are 100% live. There's absolutely no AI involved in this. I am the real Jesus. Just like It's me. I remember that. I don't know if you remember that show about this alien invasion. I think it was V, right? You have these aliens with this red jackets and these very cool sunglasses that they ended up being lizards in disguise. I remember that Robert Englund was one of the characters in there. But I remember one episode in which one of the humans, and Robert Englund, in fact, he played a lizard, an alien, who was fighting for humans. And I remember one episode of that show in which one of the humans had to prove to other humans that he was not a lizard. And I remember that that marked me as a kid. He went for a knife and just cut his hand. And yeah, you have red blood. And maybe I will not go as far as to cut myself. I almost began singing that Papa Roach song. No, it's not cut myself. It's cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Maybe at some point. I would not cut myself. No, I will sing Papa Roach. That was one of the things that I wanted to do a cover. I had an entire Papa Roach suite plan for the cello, but you know that this is I jump into the the actual job, actual responsibilities, and as of late I haven't had much time to practice cello, and that instrument, and any instrument that doesn't have frets, those are demonic. Any instrument, any stringed instrument that doesn't have frets, I'm gonna say it. I don't know. It's like English pronunciation. You're expecting me to have the muscle memory to, I don't know, just magically out of, I don't know, black magic sorcery, put my finger exactly where it has to be. I don't know. That is demonic. It's only demonic. No, it was surely that. I always wanted to have one of this, but I didn't know how how difficult it was to play that. Maybe at some point I will get myself an old-fashioned electric guitar. Oh, I miss my electric guitar. I miss my electric guitar. Maybe at some point I will get myself one of those. We need to begin, with this round of quick things that have been happening. And the first thing that has been happening is that Washington Post cuts a third. It's basically the same. Washington Post cuts a third of its staff in a blow to a legendary news brand. Okay, so why? You might remember that the Washington Post was bought a long time ago by Jeff Bezos, Amazon legend, for $250 million back in the day. And yeah, people are saying that, I'm not going to jump to Bernie still, but people are saying that, okay, why is he firing people? Well, you remember when we were in this, between the Kamala and the Donald Trump thing. I don't know if it was before or after the presidential elections of 2024. I remember, Pepperidge Farm remembers, I remember that Jeff Bezos made a suggestion that maybe maybe they could write some articles that balance a bit so much woke stuff that they were pouring out. Like, maybe for every 9 articles, maybe you can write one that is kind of center right. And no, they complained that we're not going to. A bunch of blue hair people say that they were not going to go anything of that bigotry. They were not going to do any of that bigotry. So they insisted we're gonna keep writing our crazy stuff. And Jeff Bezos says, okay. Well, the problem is that Bezos was literally, well, he could afford to lose money on this. You remember that he's got at least $200 billion. Okay, we got, okay, yeah, it's like Elon Musk is the world's greatest billionaire right now. His fortune is close to his net worth, not fortune, net worth. I need to use the right term. Net worth is close to $8 $150 billion right now, Elon Musk. But Jeffrey is a bit more modest. He's around the quarter trillion dollars right now. So, yeah, it's like he can afford to lose money. And in fact, he was losing around $100 million in the Washington Post every year. Now let that sink in. I mean, you have a couple $100 billion of net worth. You can afford to lose $100 million a year. Losses, bleeding money. It doesn't matter. Go ahead. I think that he said, okay, you know what? No more. No more. We are not going to, some of you are saying billionaire perverts, but, oh, Jeffrey Epstein. No, sorry, Jeffrey. Jeffrey Bezos was not mentioned in the Epstein files, but some of you have said that maybe he has his own island. We can't possibly know. You did not hear this from me. And of course, the usual suspect, Bernie Sanders, was complaining about this. How come you're firing all these beautiful people? If Jeff Bezos could afford to spend $75 million on the Millennium movie, I didn't know that the Millennium movie has been financed by Jeff Bezos. That is interesting. And $500 million for a yacht to sail off to his $55 million wedding to give his wife a $5 million ring. Please don't tell me he needed to fire 1/3 of the Washington Post staff. Democracy dies in oligarchy. He would say, Bernie would say, democracy lost oligarchy. It's oligarchy. I need to practice my Brooklyn accent. I need to practice my Brooklyn accent. But it is what it is. But the problem is not the money it costs, but the things that they were pouring out. Do you know that was all this woke nonsense that nobody cared about? And then Bezos must have said, what is the point of this? What is again the point of this? Because this is not making any sort of dent in culture. There's not making any sort of dent in, how people think or maybe the discussion, because that is what we want. It's like, my show, for example, is something that I do not only to present you and give you some joke a bit about what is going on in the world, but also to spark a discussion. Okay, this is what is going on. Maybe we have different takes. Maybe I have some takes. Maybe you can argue. There's Bernie is not a socialist, really. Sorry about that. Bernie is not a socialist. He preaches socialism. That is one thing, but he's as capitalist as one can be. You are right, Isa, man. You're right. Thanks for that, for pointing that out. So there was nothing brought to the actual argument, to an actual discussion or something that could barely pass as a conversation, because you know how it is. If you're not aligned with the woke mob, they're going to cancel you. But people are realizing that you cannot cancel people anymore. There's this overwhelming tsunami of common sense that is just destroying everything. We need to talk about, now that we spoke about Kamala, I mentioned Kamala's campaign. I am glad to announce. I'm really glad to announce this. I couldn't be happier to announce that apparently, the polls signal Kamala Harris. The polls signal Kamala Harris as ahead of Gavin Newsom for, eventual 2028 election run, presidential run. And I think that I'm trying to contain myself until it is official, because I want that to be official. I don't want to spoil anything. It was sad that she was going to announce that today, but no, she announced something else. But I thought I got a bit, that actually pumps me up. Kamala Harris running again. Oh my God, I'm so ready for this. I have to take it easy. I really want this to happen, but I don't want to rush things. I don't want to scare her. I have posted so many times. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. I would be so happy if she runs for president. So again, just in Kamala Harris hints, she may announce 2028 a presidential run tomorrow. And the fact is, this is what she did. Is that you remember that there was this Kamala HQ account on X in which she had all her all these updates about her campaign. Now this was changed to HQ headquarters 67. I guess that she wants to address Generation Z, because that's one of the nonsensical memes that Generation Z is mentioning all the time. 6767. Well, welcome to headquarters, the new Gen Z-led progressive content hub, because nothing screams Gen Z as Kamala Harris packed in, this is purple, right? Purple and some kind of brown blues. Okay, yeah, all right. This is a stale Joker, like a stale Joker. You remember that the Joker colors are purple and green, right? But this green is it's no longer. It's like that joke of Marjorie Taylor Brown. Okay, oh, that carpet, that rug, is interesting. I like labyrinths. A lot. Let's see. Okay, trigger warning. Here comes Kamala's voice. Kamala's voice is about to sound. So if you have headphones, you know what you need to do, because this is going to be this could be a bit uncomfortable.
Madam Vice President, what's going on with Kamala HQ?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. I have good news. So Kamala HQ is turning into headquarters, and it's where you can go online to get basically the latest of what's going on, and also to meet and revisit with some of our great courageous leaders, be they elected leaders, community leaders, civic leaders, faith leaders, young leaders. I'm really excited about it. So stay engaged, and I'll see you out there. Thank you.
Okay, I'm following the account already. You one never knows. She looks pleased. She looks happy. Maybe she got her Hennessy dose of the morning. Good for her. Kamala, please run for president. We need you. America needs you in 2028. Not for the reasons that you might think, but America needs you. Yes, absolutely. So, and speaking of, I don't know why I was thinking of trash people. I was watching this. I'm going to post this without context, and you tell me if this is what level of ghetto is this? What level of ghetto is this? And I'm gonna just play this, and you tell me, you react to this.
All you have to ask is yes or no.
No, Congressman.
All you have to ask
the
is yes or
OCC
no.
is an independent entity, and I would know, Congressman.
So I take that as a no.
You traveled to Venezuela to lobby
I take that as a no.
On behalf of your donors,
on
behalf of your
You do not want to answer that question. I take that as a no.
For a $7 billion.
I'm asking you to do your responsibility as Secretary of the Treasury.
Into a Venezuelan.
You do not.
Mr. Makes.
Will you?
Time has expired.
You cannot erase what you did in 2006.
He's the one that went past your time, Mr. Chairman.
No,
he did not answer my question, and he wouldn't pass the time.
He had 6 seconds left to try to answer your question.
At some point, I thought I had to make this joke. I thought this was a Waffle House video.
And
it was a yes or no. It was a yes or no answer. I asked him, will he? No, was that yes or no?
Recognizes the gentleman.
Stop covering for the president. Stop being his flunky.
Gentlemen.
He's talking to me. I'm responding back to him.
2006 trip to Venezuela.
Stop covering for the president. Don't be a flunky. Work for the American people.
Mr. Makes.
Trip to Venezuela.
Work for the American people. Don't be a cover-up for a mob.
Maybe you're going to see your friend Nicholas
Gentleman is not recognized. Mr. Besant, please. I recognize the gentleman from Texas.
All right, so that was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. I saw Scott Bessent's smile, and it was everything in so many ways. Why does this happen? why does this happen? I can understand that you can get carried away, that you are passionate about what you're doing, but there are ways to say things. I don't know. It's maybe this is not the best way to go around politics and policies and the things that should be the basis of civilization, of society, not like a circus. And well, that's just my opinion in this regard. And I also have another opinion that, it seems that there's no such thing as bad publicity, and you have to seize the moment or seize the spotlight in case that you have a spotlight on you for any reason whatsoever. And I'm pretty sure that you remember this couple, the Coldplay exposed couple. You remember them, right? You absolutely remember them. But it seems that she, the lady, is in this kind of event, Christine Cabot taking back the narrative. So yeah, you remember her. It was the video on Coldplay Jumbotron or whatever. This is her LinkedIn photo. And she's in this event and she's going to make bank with it because the general admission is $875 because this is some kind of crisis communication, something that I told you that I have worked on, in which, when there's this shit storm going on with you and maybe your company, and especially this always happen in a personal level, you try to, let's say, hire a public relations expert who can deal with crisis, this kind of crisis. By the way, you can also reach out to me with the email in the description of this video if you can have any kind of crisis of this sort. Colin Rogg knew the woman who went viral on the Coldplay Kiss Cam is cashing in on her fame and will be keynote speaker at a $875 per person event in Washington, D.C. Christine Cabot and her then boss, astronomer CEO Andy Byron, went viral last July at a Coldplay concert. She is now set to be a keynote speaker at PR Week's Crisis Communications Conference in Washington, D.C. in April. The event is called Christine Cabot Taking Back the Narrative, because this is always about the narrative. Oh, this is a narrative that was pushed on that. Forget about using the word. What would be the word in this case? Is like assuming the consequences. That consequences would be the exact word here, the appropriate word here. But I think that we are ready to begin with the actual show. Let's see which topic. Let's address the main topic already. Let's address the main topic already. This is gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time, and we're going to talk about this. But there's another word in terms of being responsible for your own actions. There's one word I just forget that. It doesn't matter. Maybe I will remember that later. We need to talk about this. We need to kickstart our show. This is something that we don't know what is going on, but everybody is talking about this. Whether or not you're fans of Savannah Guthrie, I would encourage you to pray for the safe return of her mother, Nancy. Nancy has been disappeared for 5 days or something like that. It has been way too many days, and it's usually by this point that you know that what has happened to the person. People are saying that why is every outlet, this is a kind of a distraction. Well, in fact, I have been myself. People have criticized me. Why are you covering this? You should be covering the Epstein files. I've been covering the Epstein files for 5 days, indeed. And yes, maybe we can address this. I had seen this case in 2 days ago, and I said, well, maybe I can wait a couple days. Maybe Nancy appears safe and sound. That's what we want. But then I began looking at the rabbit hole of what this is. Not only those blood stains at the front of the house, we're gonna talk about them, but that video that they released about ransom notes that we don't know if they are legit. So this is a bit concerning. Just to catch up with this, on Saturday, January 31st, Nancy Guthrie, 84, last seen when dropped off at her Tucson area home by family after dinner. She's 84 years old, and she lives alone in a crazy, ass huge house. Okay, not gonna judge. Some people like to live that way, but okay, I guess. Sunday, 1 or 2 a.m., her pacemaker sends its last signal, narrowing the likely abduction window to early morning while she slept. Investigators believe she was taken against her will and driven away. That doesn't mean that her pacemaker stopped. That means that it was no longer connected by Bluetooth to her phone, which was left behind. Her phone, her car, her purse, there was no robbery, there was no nothing. It was left behind. There was lost the connection of the Bluetooth connection between her pacemaker and her phone. So that connection was lost at around 2 a.m. Now, Sunday, February 1st, family alerted after she fails to appear at church. Relatives check her home and find signs of possible abduction. Yep, she was very regular. One thing is that Nancy also had this difficulty moving, but she was regular at church. And when she did not appear, people were saying, okay, what happened to her? So at noon, family reports her missing to authorities. Search begins with concerns over her need for daily medication. And it was on Sunday, and we are in Thursday right now. So I thought that it was time to cover this. No major developments reported in the immediate hours following the report. But one thing is for certain, you know that even if people are saying that even if Savannah Guthrie has criticized Trump in the past, it really doesn't matter. Trump made sure I spoke with Savannah Guthrie and let her know I am directing all federal law enforcement to be at the families and local law enforcement's complete disposal immediately. We are deploying all resources to get her mother home safely. The prayers of our nation are with her and her family. God bless and protect Nancy. President Donald J. Trump. And again, people are asking, why is it so important that so many people disappear all over the United States? And I don't have the hard numbers, but I can imagine that after 48 hours, you pretty much already, usually, after 48 hours, I don't remember what is the kind of alert. I think it was an Amber Alert when somebody's missing. I don't remember. Usually, after 48 hours, you already know what has happened to people, or they come back or something. A lot of people disappear, but it's kind of unusual that you don't know anything about them 5 days after the fact. So I guess that's why it's happening. So here we have Savannah Guthrie did an exclusive interview with 6 Epstein victims in 2019. I think I remember this one. I don't know if she was the one. I thought I had. No, I didn't cover this one back then. I was not making videos in 2019. Oh, well, Kash Patel personally. Okay, thank you for this. Amber Alert is for minors. Silver Alert. Thank you, Storm the Sky, and thank you, Air Dry. Is for the elderly, right? Kash Patel is personally going to Tucson, Arizona to look for Savannah Guthrie's kidnapped mother. So, people are saying, why is she getting this preferential treatment? I am not the one to judge, but I would say that this is a very public case. Let's talk about the blood stains. And I have some experience with the blood stains and a couple of things. This is the entrance to Nancy's house. And you can see, so many people have noticed that the Ring camera, these cameras that you have on your front door that see everything that's happening around, is missing. The Ring camera is missing, and no, it was not synchronized to any other device or to the cloud. It seems that it was not synchronized to the cloud. Remember, Nancy, 84 years old, was living alone at her home at a huge house. So it's not like it was easy for her to update these devices or anything. This is important to notice. But I want to point out the blood stains. And one thing that we can tell from the blood stains is that they have next to zero kinetic force or movement. You see that there's a drop, and the drops are pretty much circular. You see that is a drop that is falling basically like this way, like 90 degrees into the ground. So if what does that mean? That means that if you had, for example, if the person was moving, okay, and it's bleeding, and it's moving quickly or with certain speed, then you would see like a very tiny shape of the drops in the direction they were moving. So from this, few conclusions can be made, but the first one that I immediately thought, okay, first, luckily, at least two, what it seems to me, this is not a life-threatening wound. Okay, this doesn't look like a life-threatening wound at all. And she was walking, if this is her blood, right? She was walking really slowly. This seems to be this is the kind of confusion that we have. I thought at first that this was splatter, but you see that there's this color here. This is like brownish, and you see this more like the color of blood. So that is important, because people are saying as well, I need you to look at this, the difference in this spots here. Okay, you have the blood spatters here. Okay, this is a drop of blood. Okay, just they also look like nosebleed drops. All right, they can also look like nosebleed drops. But again, we're talking about an 84-year-old lady. What kind of struggle would have been to take her out of the house? Maybe she struggled, but yeah, maybe she struggled. Maybe she broke her nose, or they broke her nose, whoever brought her. But this is a bit, many people have this confused, because you see here, like this spot, you see the circles, right? And people are also saying that this kind of splatter is also blood, and I digress. These are two completely different sets of stuff, and my idea is that this is not blood. What you see, imagine that the brush they use to brush your teeth. Imagine that you use red paint, and imagine that you begin to scrape your toothbrush, and you have that pattern on or water, or maybe you're brushing your teeth, you play with a toothbrush, you will have that pattern in there. That doesn't look like something like blood that dripped into the floor. This is blood that dripped into the floor and remained there, and you have the classic asymmetry of the circle, like when you leave a mug of coffee, a coffee mug, and you notice that the circle that the coffee mug leaves is asymmetric. Okay, but this, I don't think this is blood. I don't think this is blood. This could be dirt. This could be anything else. In fact, we have spots here that are way too dark to be blood. And notice the difference. This is important. The difference between this red, okay, coagulated blood, and this is almost black. That's why I'm saying that this looks more like dirt or something on her front porch, but that is not actual blood. These spots are blood. It's something that I need to tell you. I find blood spatters and blood spatters investigation fascinating, and always love that I can say those words. But you know that I'm that kind of guy. People are saying there's a reward for any information leading to the arrest of the person or persons involved in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, and the reward is $2,500. Okay, yeah, you know that Savannah Guthrie's net worth is $40 million, so I'm not going to comment on this, but I'm already commenting on this. But that sounds a bit low. If your net worth is $40 million, that sounds a few low. And yes, I went to the site 88crime.org, and this is legit. It says reward up to $2,500. I checked like half an hour ago. I guess that's still it. We have to see this this video, and you need to notice the size of the house that Nancy was living in. It's a huge house, has a pool. You notice that there's a lot of vegetation around. This was in Phoenix, Arizona. If I'm not mistaken, it's in Arizona. And yes, there was a lot of opportunity to people to just reach out to the house, to get closer to the house, and nobody would notice. You notice that the closest neighbor would be blocked by a lot of greenery in there. So let's watch this.
Savannah Guthrie, the sheriff, telling CBS News he believes she was abducted from her home in the middle of the night. Our Jonathan Vigliotti is there and spoke with the sheriff just moments ago. He joins us now. Jonathan, good evening.
And Tony, good evening to you. The sheriff confirming that Nancy Guthrie was abducted from her home behind me while she was asleep. They found inside life-saving medication and her cell phone. They're now combing through surveillance video. At one point, the sheriff getting emotional as he worried they were running out of time.
Yeah, thank you for this Cactus Star. Tucson, Arizona, not Phoenix. So
tonight, the Pima County Sheriff tells CBS News that he believes the disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mother was an act of foul play.
Is it fair for me to characterize this as an abduction?
I believe she was abducted, yes. This is an 84-year-old lady who, in the middle of the night, while she's asleep, is taken from her home.
84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was last seen around 9:45 Saturday night when family members dropped her home.
Some of you are asking, why is everybody talking about this? Well, it's an 84-year-old lady, which of course everybody has had a grandma that you care for, and that is concerning. And again, the circumstances of this make no sense whatsoever. I think that is one of the reasons why so many people are asking questions about what is going on.
Then on Sunday morning, a friend called Guthrie's children, telling them their mother had not shown up for church. They then notified the sheriff's department around noon that day after not being able to find their physically ailing mother.
She is very limited in her mobility, right? We know she didn't just walk out of there.
Sheriff Chris Nanos says finding Guthrie is crucial because she relies on daily medication.
Okay, that is the kind of things that I don't understand. How do they work? She has a lot of trouble even walking, 50 steps, but how does she go to church on her own every Sunday? Again, but I'm just asking questions to because I can imagine, okay, she's got this disability, only physical disability, not mental disability. She is mentally sound. But if physically she has trouble, how come she can't go to church on her own? Okay, I guess that she hops into her car and then she goes to church. Maybe she has a bit of trouble. Just asking these questions because I remember that the most important thing is to imagine everything that you hear. Imagine everything to the step. Imagine Nancy going to church. Imagine Nancy being alone in that huge house, which again, people are blaming her children for, or her sons and daughters for just allowing her to live alone there. And I know many people that are just like that. I want to live at my house. I don't want to live anywhere else. I want to live by myself. And I think we can't blame anybody that wants to live like that. But it's important, as you mentioned, Maureen, Cheshire, carers. Maybe somebody could care for her. That would have been important. That would have been important, not have her alone, just literally alone at that house.
I mean, the clock is literally ticking. It's been more than 24 hours since she disappeared. Are you concerned that it may be too late before she is found?
Well, we don't want to go there. Look, we just want to find her.
And officials say this is not a case of someone suffering from Alzheimer's or dementia.
Sharp as a tack. Her mental faculties are there.
Over the years, Nancy Guthrie has made regular appearances on the Today Show.
Love you, Mama.
And she's talked about how much her mom has meant in her life.
The greatest gift my mother gave me was faith and belief in God. It changed my whole life.
The sheriff says they've received more than 1,000 leads, and he hopes security camera videos will help with the investigation.
How is the Guthrie family doing it?
They just want their mom home.
Yeah, I can guess it can be really heartbreaking. This is the thing that I don't get. You have here, for example, this is the locations of Nancy's house. Every single major intersection around that Tucson neighborhood has traffic cameras. Whoever kidnapped Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy, had to be seen in any way or another. But we have another problem as well. You have that huge house. You must have some security besides the ring camera right on front, right? Well, it turns out that Nest cameras on the property were smashed, with the back door found wide open and blood present inside and outside the home. Authorities have confirmed the presence of interior and exterior cameras, and footage from these systems is under review by investigators, including forensic analysis with assistance from tech companies. So, some people have noticed that specialists with equipment to recover footage, to recover hard drives are on the scene. It seems that it has to do with the cameras. But whoever did this, they knew where the cameras were. They were familiar with the house. They were familiar with the house. And if Nancy lived literally alone, okay, we need to check if somebody ever, I don't know, went cleaning or something, or who did this and for what? Yeah, it's the single most important question is why? Why did they abduct this lady? Apparently there are ransom notes that have not been confirmed. We're gonna see the video of Savannah with her brothers, her brother and sister, to address this. But meanwhile, first, this is the thing. First, it was reported, thanks to Chili Noise on X, first it was reported that her children dropped her off. Then it changed to her family. Then it changed to last seen by her eldest daughter, Annie. Did anyone from the family who arrived at the home make an attempt to view the security camera footage? Isn't that something you can usually connect to via a computer or even your mobile device? Because that's another thing. Okay, your mother could be living alone at her house, but if she has security cameras, you can 100% have those security cameras connected by the internet to a server in which you could see what's happening at every time and even rewind what has happened. So how come somebody entered in the middle of the night and no camera pick up this person? They don't have any clue, have no idea. That's the thing. I think are the reasons why so many people can connect dots, this kind of dots, and so many people say that there's so many strange details about this that don't make sense. Sheriff says they still haven't been able to view the footage due to legalities and it not being available on a cloud. Then goes on to talk about how all the tech agencies are working with them. Google, Meta, Weird. Yeah, it seems that there were no cloud backup of whatever was in Nancy's home camera. Miss Savannah Guthrie's siblings, including sister who was last to see mom before she was taken. So it was the eldest daughter, then was her family, then was whatever, and there's also another more declarations about from this guy.
But I believe what happened there was at 9:45 in the evening, her children left her off. At some time earlier that morning, they got a call from somebody at the church who said, "Hey, your mom's not here." The family went to the house. I'm thinking they spent some time looking for her themselves before they called us. So I'm guessing maybe they got there around 11.
Okay, what? Wait a second. What?
I'm thinking.
Yeah, I need to rewatch this.
I'm thinking they spent some time looking for her themselves before they called us. So I'm guessing.
Oh no, I'm posting this because this doesn't make sense. Okay, what he just said doesn't make sense. I'm gonna tell you why.
I'm thinking they spent some time looking for her themselves before they called us. So I'm guessing
they spent some time looking for her. I'm gonna tell you, if I arrived at home and anybody with I don't know, an ounce of half a brain, common sense, you arrive and you see that they have broken into the back door, and the front door has blood on the porch and blood inside the house as well. I wouldn't spend some time looking for in this case Nancy. I don't know. It's like I would call the police immediately. I can't imagine somebody spending time. Okay, let's look for a missing person. No, you see blood. Instead that if you see the house that is empty, and you see that the phone is there, but the house is empty and has not been broken into, and you see no blood, it makes sense. Okay, before I report that my mother is missing, I'm going to look for her. But if you see that this is her car, her purse, and her phone, there's blood on the entrance, and they have broken into. What are you waiting for? I don't know. I see this guy. Immediately. I don't know if that is true, but what he said makes no sense. What he said makes no sense, and even makes less sense the fact that they were treating this as just a disappearance, but now they are making this perimeter with police line, do not cross. They're treating it as a crime scene several days after this happened. This is a problem. They're treating it like a crime scene several days after this has happened. So I think these are part of the reasons why this has become everybody talking about this. Just in case, you're gonna pick very quickly here on my X account, just to say if there are any recent developments. If you see any recent developments, just let me know. Okay, so crime scene tape goes back up outside missing Nancy Guthrie's home as FBI deploys hostage negotiators to family hostage. Okay, so there's somebody demanding things. So Sheriff Chris Nanos stated that at least one of the notes contained, because there have been more than 5 ransom notes, not left in the house, but sent to TMZ and other outlets. At least one of the notes contained information that was concerning because it described specific aspects of the residence and Nancy's clothing, details that typically only someone involved in the abduction would know. They demanded for a substantial amount of Bitcoin, all right? And the notes allegedly included a deadline for payment and a threat of harm if the demands were not met. But none of this has been confirmed. None of this has been confirmed, and we have the video. It's time to analyze the video. Just gonna make a quick pause before analyze this. Because, some of you are arguing that this is a distraction from the Epstein files. It's not in my channel. Not in my channel. I have been covering the Epstein files every day in detail and making sure that we get the story straight about this. Making sure that we get the story straight about Epstein. And in this case, well, let's take a look at this. I have not watched this video, by the way. Okay, time to begin. So, Savannah Guthrie just posted this video on Instagram, basically addressing whoever took away her mother. I have to tell you that I have not watched this video. This is the kind of stuff that I like to, do a blind run with you. Okay, just add the video to my software here. I don't watch it because I want to react it with you. Maybe you can help me in the live chat as well. One thing that people have pointed out and included in the thumbnail of this show is the Annie Guthrie, the eldest daughter, is smiling right before Savannah Guthrie talks. This is right at the beginning of the video. You see that she has this face, and then she changes her face immediately. Okay. Okay, that was odd. Okay, but besides that, let's watch this in one pass. Let's see what they have to say, and be sure to put some kind of Okay, more brightness for me. And let's play this.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She is funny, spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day. Despite having already passed through great trials of pain.
Okay, I have to say that I didn't know that the sister was going to speak as well or read as well. And yeah, the way that she reads is basically not what I expected at all. But that's my first impression.
And grief. We are always going to be merely human. Just normal human people who need our mom. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media.
We too have heard the reports of a ransom letter in the media. Right? So the letter is legit or not?
We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us.
So they haven't reached out to them. So the ransom notes are bogus then, is what I understand. Am I missing something?
Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. We speak to you every moment, and we pray without ceasing, and we rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
We love you, Mom.
Okay, as some of you are mentioning in the comments, like, it is your mom, it is about making the victim human to the abductor. You have a point. Some have said this, that this kind of videos are made, before I give you my impression, I'm going to comment on this. This kind of videos are made for the abductor to realize that, oh, he kidnapped a human being, that a grandma that has grandchildren, and she is fierce and strong. I don't know if I'm being too cynical here, but don't you think that somebody who literally kidnaps 84-old lady in the middle of the night from her house, and there's blood and stuff, you think that they're going to maybe change their mind if you have a recording on Instagram saying how great is she? I don't know. I have real doubts about how efficient can that be. Now this is the thing that I didn't know. I told you I hadn't seen this video. I'm seeing it with you for the first time. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. She says so. The ransom letters are not legit. And we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. So I don't know. Are they implying that somebody sent a recording or anything? We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen.
We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen.
So at some points they're addressing Nancy directly, but at this point she's addressing the abductors, whoever they are, and saying we are ready to listen. So they need a kind of a proof of life that Nancy is alive. From the first thing that comes to my mind is they spoke for, how long is this video? Let me just measure this. How long is that? It's less than 4 minutes. My question is that many of you are asking on the live chat, what was the need to read this? What was the read to read this? Because this is something that you know what it's going to say. You're going to describe somebody who has been with you literally your whole life, and you're going to just mention a couple of things that are part of the investigation, and that you're ready to, and you're saying that we want to make it clear about, I don't know, if law enforcement redacted this and told them to read these papers, well, it's a very, very bad look. I'm sad to say that. I know that it's not the right moment to talk about optics, but this doesn't look good, especially the way Savannah looks like she is sitting, like leaning forward. Okay, her brother looks way more stoic, but let's say that her sister is like. I don't know. I would say that disengaged. It could be about, I don't know. It could be trauma. It could be that she's trying to process what is going on. But I see Savannah's attitude with this. Even if they are reading, I think that I would have told them to just speak freely for 4 minutes, and maybe I don't know, do more than one take if you don't feel bad. Why? Because precisely the point is, let's see the point. The point is making the victim, in this case Nancy, human, so the abductors can connect with her. Oh, right, we made a mistake. You're aiming for something that is like 1 in a million shot. Okay, I can understand that. But precisely, if you want to portray your mother as human, maybe you're reading from a piece of paper something that is so stale, and especially the way that her sister spoke this, completely destroys that intention. This sounds forced and even unnecessary. I mean, this simply doesn't help. That is, again, my opinion. You could say that it is too early, but it is not too early. This is 5 days after Nancy was abducted. And again, when I was surprised when I heard her sister talking or reading, because I don't know.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day. Despite having already passed through great trials of pain.
I mean, yeah, you could have said exactly the same, not reading out a paper. Made the exact same video. Just speak about your mother. Just talk about your mother. Should be really easy. But make it as you want to portray your mother as authentic, as unique. You don't read from a paper. That is simply not a good thing. Again, it would have been much more authentic. Maybe even the sister would have been more spontaneous. I guess that I don't know why the brother decided not to speak. Maybe he was not comfortable reading from a piece of paper. I found that a bit odd. But he decided not to participate in this. But it is still tragic. We're 5 days into this. I don't know. There are other things that people are pointed out. Annie Guthrie, this is the eldest daughter, seen leaving her home with a federal agent. It is normal to interview family, especially on day 1 and even day 2, obviously. But is it normal for this to happen approaching day 4? Again, that's what I tell you. This is why people are talking about this. Nancy Guthrie case. It makes sense the officers would interview Annie Guthrie and her husband, Tommaso Cioni, but it was day 3. I would have believed if there was no rub that by now interviews would be over pertaining to immediate family. Okay, so it's questions. People pointed out, like Chili Noise again pointed out, Annie Guthrie says she's an oracular writer. In modern pagan, Wiccan, or occult communities, some practitioners use oracles as part of their practice and may self-identify as witches. Okay, I have no way to prove anything with that, but I just thought it was important to mention out there. This is interesting, they were investigating. This is a guy who had a drone, who had been taken and filming, and they were investigating inside Nancy's garage. There's her car, all right, and they were investigating. I guess that they were maybe looking for some kind of maybe servers or computers who could have some kind of footage of the cameras. That's the other thing that I could think about, because what else could they be searching for in the garage? I have no idea. I really have no clue. So many things that don't fit in here, but they were looking around her garage. We also have this update. Investigators now focusing a lot of attention on a particular room inside Nancy Guthrie's home with latex gloves, taking photos and removing several boxes of items. I guess that could have been the main bedroom, maybe, where she was sleeping. She was abducted. Only thing that I don't know. Maybe it's a main bedroom. I think that there's no way to tell what kind of room was that. And yeah, there were. See, I don't know why they are seeing boxes. I don't see any boxes. There are other things. Let's say circumstantial things. What Tracy is saying here is important. Look at the man with Savannah Guthrie. See how he's gently touching her shoulder and staying behind her. This is Savannah. This is a man, and okay, he is usually. When you're posing for a picture, again, this can be nothing, but this also caught my attention. When you're posing in a picture, usually men are bigger and taller, and we stand at the back, right? And you see that this man makes sure to stand behind, because if he stays in front, okay, he would be like basically blocking most of Savannah. But then you see here, Nancy's son-in-law, and who is kind of big and tall, posing for the picture, and he was basically he could have done exactly the same, but behind his mother-in-law. And no, he was almost blocking her, almost pushing her, and I saw that as odd. I'm going to flag that, not even a yellow flag, but I would flag that as odd. Was really strange. Oh, that is her husband, by the way. Yeah, that's another thing that people are saying. Oh, her husband was mentioned in the Epstein files. As far as I have checked, it's not that he was mentioned in the Epstein files. It was somebody mentioned the company that he works for. Okay, that's just a passing mention that maybe you should work with this guy. But we have a couple more things to address about this, both of them, because he also has ties to Bill Clinton. Okay, something is fishy here at Annie Guthrie's house. This is another video. Let's see what this video is about.
Annie and her husband, Tommaso. Our cameras are there, and our team there has witnessed those agents come out of that home, put certain items from the home into the back of their SUV, and have now just returned inside the home of Annie Guthrie and her husband Tommaso. Now, they are believed, by the way, to be the family.
Okay, they were the last ones to see Nancy, by the way. So again, this was the latest development. This was from yesterday. Savannah Guthrie's brother-in-law was the last person to see Mom Nancy before she vanished. Okay, all right. Crime journalist Ashley Banfield reports that Savannah Guthrie's brother-in-law, Tommaso Cioni, is considered the prime suspect in her mother's abduction. By the way, his car was taken away by law enforcement. His car was taken away for the investigation. Also, dogs were brought to the house to see if they could smell anything. So this is so odd. This is so odd. By the way, this is the reference to Bill Clinton that I was mentioning. Savannah Guthrie's husband is Michael Feldman, a corporate consultant and founding partner at the communications firm Fiji Ace Global. The Fiji Ace Global was passingly mentioned in the Epstein files, but not involved in anything. Why don't you call these people? They are good at their job. That was it. As long as I've been able to check. I don't know if something else has popped up. His professional ties to Bill Clinton stem from his early career in Democratic politics, where he worked on Clinton's 1992 presidential campaign staff. Feldman then spent 8 years as a political aide in the Clinton-Gore White House, serving in roles such as Deputy Director of Legislative Affairs to Vice President Al Gore. Again, people are saying that maybe the timing looks odd, that we have the Epstein files. Bill Clinton is going to actually have this sworn testimony very soon at the end of February with Hillary, and they want cameras and they want it to be everybody to watch it. And this happens, I don't know, again, it's just one clue, doesn't mean anything, but I think it was worth mentioning. Spaz Baby, someone said their dad lives in the same area as Savannah Guthrie's mom, and his dad's house was broken into, and a sheriff came and secured the door and told him to get a gun. This was somebody whose dad, somebody else, a comment on YouTube, whose dad lives near Nancy. My 93-year-old dad lives in the same area. 8 nights ago at about 10 p.m., the back porch motion light went on. There was a Hispanic man snooping around, and he tried to get into the sliding glass door, and my dad yelled at him to get away, and the man ran off. The sheriff came and secured the house and told my dad to get a gun. So he did. I think there might have been another man with this man, and they were looking for an easy way in. The scary thing is the lights and TV were on. This man knew there was someone in the house. I think my dad was targeted because of his age. My dad wears an emergency button 100% of the time, praying they find her. Again, we're talking about Tucson, Arizona, and this is, a lot of stuff going on there. Based on historical reports and data regarding organized crime and cartel activity, Arizona, but in this case Phoenix, has frequently been cited as having high numbers of kidnappings for ransom in the United States. Mainly from Mexican drug cartels, which again is another possibility. We can't possibly know. And this is basically the last slide of this incident. Not sure the validity of this claim, but nobody seems to want to talk about Nancy Guthrie and her son-in-law, Mike Feldman. Mike worked for the Clintons as a political consultant for 8 years, and suddenly his mother-in-law disappears from her home right before the Clintons testify. Mike worked for Glover Group that was started by Joe Lockhart, who was Clinton's press secretary. Glover Park Group is now ran by an Epstein, and it's owned by FGS Global. Do these dots need to be connected? I pray they find Miss Guthrie safe and sound. We pray for that. Again, I can absolutely understand. There are so many angles to this. We want Nancy back. We want her back and safe and sound. And I can understand why so many people are talking about this. 5 days into, and sadly, it's a reality that the more days pass, the the odds of finding the person, especially somebody who has a limited mobility and she needs medications, and the medications were left behind. This is not looking good. This is not looking good, and of course that is the reason why every single hour counts, and this is why I guess that Trump told Kash Patel to take these matters into his own hands and try to do this. Of course, so much suspicious things. Even 5 days into this, after watching the video, I think the thing of the reading from a paper was a mistake. I think it was a mistake. But again, I would love to know what do you think about this in the comments. You might be interested that I'm going to send this to my Crime Corner channel. Okay, yes, this is Crime Corner here. I have a channel on YouTube dedicated to research, investigation about true crime. I also put in there body cam footage as well, reaction to body cam footage. So make sure that you look for the Crime Coroner on YouTube. That is my channel that I will be following up, and I will be inserting this topic in there. But let me know what do you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Crime Coroner. Much love and bliss. So yeah, that was a longish topic. It was it demanded to like this understand all the situation, all was surrounding this case, because the circumstances are this absolutely don't match. It's so many clues all over the place. And right now we might have another example of a case that we need to talk about. Yeah, no reason to read from a paper to describe your mom, and you can tell that there have been reports of ransom notes out there in the media. I simply did not understand. I did not get why would they say there are reports of ransom notes in the media, but do you have a ransom note or not? I guess. This is that they made this video, and they should have made it clear. We got your note. Okay, they got the note, but maybe they want a proof of life, or maybe the note included a proof of life, or or a picture or something. Which nowadays, that is the thing. Nowadays, you can create any sort of picture. You can create any sort of video. So how can they? You can even fake a telephone call with somebody. The only way. This is important. I'm gonna make a pause here because this is important, and you need to pay attention to this. You need to pay attention to having with your loved ones some kind of password that you all agree on, or some kind of story, or some kind of a sentence, or a way of speaking. I mean, there are so many ways that, for example, have some kind of greeting, or some kind of calling each other in which if somebody, a loved one calls you, and they use that word, then you know that they're in trouble. That's one. Another is that you can ask them, and they make sure that they include a word that you have prearranged, that is not written anywhere, that they just memorize, and you know that when they say the word, they know that they are the real deal. That only the real person and not an AI would say that word. Because that is important as well. That's how you could confirm that someone is them and not an AI or somebody impersonating them with a phone call, with a synthetic voice over a phone call, because that's something that it can 100% do. Anybody nowadays can, there are even filters that you could, AI filters that somebody can impersonate both the appearance and the voice of a person. You will notice that their body language is not the same, but again, when in these distressing situations, your brain is racing, and you might be confused. And there's a lot, of course, of maybe not cases like this, like disappearances, but also scams in which somebody that you know in real life, or maybe there's a loved one, maybe if your family, they call you and they do this video call, and it's not them, it's somebody pretending to be them with a filter, with a heavy filter. That there's already the technology for that. There's already the technology for that. So yeah, we are living strange times. I'm gonna address the AI Scott Adams as well, and we're gonna talk about. I wanted to mention, by the way, in this things, the kind of developments. I wanted to address Erika Kirk. And I wanted to address Erika Kirk because there's this clip that I wanted you to watch. There's no captions. I'm going to generate the captions right now, because she's talking about Tyler Robinson's prosecution and what she wants for Tyler Robinson's prosecution. And what she says, I'm going to make a commentary about her words because this is important, and it's going to be important for that trial. Let's watch this.
I wonder, when you talk about, the trial of Tyler Robinson, and you have been very forthright saying, listen, I think we need cameras in court. And the reason you say we need cameras in court is not because you want this to be, some kind of, you want this to be on the record. You want everything to be on the record. You want transparency, and you want to make sure there is nobody trying to twist this in any kind of outlying organization trying to twist this into something it's not. Is that a fair assessment of why you want this thing out there and transparent?
Absolutely. I want there to be no hesitation in understanding of what happened to my husband that day. I want there to always be full transparency, because what I don't want to have happen is for there not to be, and then I am relying then on social media and other news outlets to explain the narrative, rather than saying, hey, this is what happened. This is what here's all of the, it's just as hard, all of the facts on the table for you guys to see. And you guys can see on full display what happened to my husband. And there is no ifs, ands, or buts or confusion as to who did it and why.
So I played this clip. For the very relevant reason that I see some accounts that are trying to reframe what Erika said in this video. Erika Kirk is demanding that U.S. courts find Tyler Robinson guilty with undeniable proof in the assassination of her husband. Well, what I heard in the clip was more like, I want this to be as open and transparent as possible. I think that was the emphasis. But yeah, I guess that she also wants, Tyler Robinson to be found guilty. She says, and pay attention to this, she says she wants no other theories or narratives spreading on social media once the case is over. No, she did not say that. What she said is that she wants absolute transparency over this trial. She wants the cameras. She wants every single detail out there, and I can understand why. She wants every single detail of the investigation out there, so there's no doubt of what happened to Charlie Kirk that day. That is the exact words that Erika, not the exact words, but the exact, let's say, what she wants to convey. She simply, it is impossible for Erika Kirk to prevent people from having theories and conspiracies. She simply cannot prevent that. That is impossible. Nobody can prevent that. But what she wants is the trial to be so open, so transparent, so, here are the facts and here's all the evidence, that in the face of that evidence, it should, quote unquote, I have to be a bit, again, cynical about this. It should be harder for actors or bad actors, people who want the clicks, to make up stuff about what happened that day. Okay, because that is the idea behind as open as possible, as public as possible trial. Okay, so less and less people can, this is what, but this is the evidence. This is what you were looking for, because I'm pretty sure that many people want to know what kind of round it was and why that round, did what it did. And why, not when we were talking about blood spatters, why were there no blood spatters? Because it hit a vertebra, and what kind of trajectory it went. I know it's going to be gruesome, of course, but at the same time, I know it's going to be necessary, especially because of the bullet. And I know that so many people, that is impossible, and so many factors involved in a round, in a bullet, that I want to see that. And most likely I will be live streaming the whole thing. Press conference ongoing about Nancy update. So I'm going to finish this topic, and let's switch to that press conference. And again, I wanted to just play this clip because people are making stuff about what Erika Kirk says, and I just wanted to set the record straight. I want the public trial. I want every detail out there, and again, that will help us assemble all the pieces of the puzzle. So again, I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Bottle Language Guy. Much love and bliss. The press conference sounds like still no info. Okay, let's tune in, because why not? I have time. And where are you watching the press conference? You tell me where you're watching that press conference. Let me see if I can see it here. See your chats. I'll look for it. This guy again. This is no, they're not saying anything. We believe Nancy is still out there. Let's see. Let me see. Just maybe play this for.
Go out and be processed at different lab sites, and sometimes that stuff comes back to us, and like you, we have questions, and we say, wait a minute, what is this about? What about this?
No, this is not gonna be it. It's not gonna be it. And I'm seeing here the updates, and I don't see anything really in the updates worth commenting. Maybe here. Let's see. Update believed to still be out there. No more. We believe Nancy is out there. That's all that they're saying. And I really hope that Nancy is out there. I believe. It's time to talk about Donald Trump. We need to talk about Trump. And people are pissed off with Trump. People are pissed off with Trump. What happened? The Dawn. What happened to the Dawn? What happened to the Dawn? We need to talk about the Dawn. We need to talk about the Dawn because now he's saying that he's adjusting. What is happening with him? What is happening? He's saying that he's adjusting his mass deportations policy. Oh my God. Oh my God. To only go into cities if the mayors or governors ask and say please, adding, I don't want to go and force ourselves into a city, even if their numbers are terrible. What is going on? What happened? I would like to know what is Kristi Noem's take on this.
So I want to be clear because it sounds like there is a shift in immigration enforcement here, that there's going to be a shift after Minneapolis. What should Americans expect going forward?
Well, one thing I say to my people, we do a good job. We don't get credit for it. I say they have to ask and they have to say please. When a city is
who has to ask and who has to say please?
Or the governor, I don't want to go and force ourselves into a city, even if their numbers are terrible. Like, for instance, I got a call from Jeff Landry, governor of Louisiana. He said, we have a big problem. Could you go in and help us with let's see, certain sections. I mean, to be honest with you, certain sections of the state, beyond their famous, beautiful city, certain sections of the state. We have done, not only in New Orleans, we've done a really great job in Louisiana, but I was called. I want to be called. Chicago, we could solve the Chicago crime.
Well, on that question, which cities are you headed to next?
Okay, I'm gonna give you my first impression of this. I'm gonna give you my first impression, and every single, let's say that every single resource is limited. Not only people, not only vehicles, not only officers. Everything is limited. And Trump must have said, okay, you know what? Let's do something. For those mayors and those governors who say that, hey, we need your help right now, okay, they are going to prioritize not only, of course, the criminals, but they're going to prioritize the cities and the states that they are asking for help. That would make sense as well. It's like not only prioritizing by crime. Let's go for the criminals as well. Everybody wants every illegal deported. I can understand that. But again, everybody is okay with prioritizing efforts. And since every resource from the Department of Homeland Security is limited, because that is the reality, then it would be logical to say, okay, we not only go for the criminals, but we are going to prioritize those cities and states that their mayors and governors asked us to go to. So that is a bit of a punishing, which I also agree on. Those cities and states that we don't want Trump here, we don't want any ICE scum here. Okay, so be it. So they can. Maybe it has been so problematic in Minneapolis. Has been so problematic in Minnesota that Trump said, you know what, maybe we can allocate our resources in the places that people actually want us to do our job. And that way you win in several ways. First one, you put your officers, or your officers are not going to be in danger, or are going to be in less danger than if you go to places in which these criminal Brodians are running unchecked, and at the same time you have the protests, people that are against this. So you have double hostility. So there's it's also thinking about the officers and thinking about the population of those cities and states. Okay, you voted for a woke or a crazy woke blue Democrat. Fair enough. So you get your sanctuary cities, you get your Brodians, you get to keep all of that. We're going to focus on those who are going to go for us. I think it's fair. And some of you are saying that you are no governor, no mayor is going to ask for help. I disagree. I'm sure that some are going to say, you know what, maybe we could use some help. But notice how so many things fall into place. Officers are safer. Deportations keep going, it would be impossible for any mayor or governor to complain, because they will be the ones asking DHS to go and deport people. I think that is a nice approach. That is my opinion right now. I think that is my opinion right now. It's like this, like racial tension says, he's letting sanctuary cities implode. They will eat themselves alive. Yeah, I was trying to be a bit polite, but yeah, that is more or less the idea that I think that Trump is going for. But let me see what else he has to say.
We have 5 cities that we're looking at very strongly, but we want to be invited. We will sometimes call the governors. And
are
say,
these cities like Chicago, Philadelphia? Are these the cities?
We could straighten out the crime in Chicago. We've already brought it down 25% just by being there. We could have Chicago be a safe city, just like D.C. is a safe city, just like all of these places that we've gone to. And I look forward. I didn't campaign on that. Yeah. I campaigned on law and order, but I didn't think I'd be going into individual cities and making them safe.
Yeah, what's happening. And this is important, as Irene Evans says, you can't help people who don't want to be helped. Yeah, you're going to get into trouble, in fact. And I think that he wants officers, and Kristi Noem must want officers to be safe and make this as smooth as possible and reallocate resources. And maybe those stubborn city mayors will say, oh, you know what, maybe I could use some help at some point.
Anything else you can tell us about the 5 cities? The 5 cities, anything else? So Americans are ready?
We'll be announcing them very quickly, but we could do something. As an example, I was called by people. San Francisco said, please, we have a Democrat mayor. He's trying very hard. Would you, friends of mine that live there, it's got crime problems. Would you let him do the job and not come in? Let's see how it works. I said, look, I can do it much quicker, much faster. Don't forget, we remove criminals. We took over 2,000 hardcore criminals out of Washington, D.C. Yeah. If we didn't do that, 2% of the people create 90% of the crime. Think of that, 2%. So you have a criminal, because it's over and over again, 2% create 90% of the crime. We took out 2,000 people, more than 2,000 people out of Washington, D.C., and we now have a safe city.
So there's also this question, this other clip. Is your mission now to deport everyone who came in illegally? And what does Trump say about this?
I have a question about immigration still looking forward now. Your goal during the election was to deport everyone who came here illegally under President Biden. Is your mission now to deport everyone who came in illegally, or just people who have come in illegally who have also committed additional crimes?
We are totally focused on criminals, really bad criminals. Now, you could say people that came in illegally are criminals, but I'm talking about murderers from different countries. We have 11,888 murderers that Biden and his group led into our country. We've captured a lot of them. We've brought some of them back. A lot of them we don't want to bring back because we don't trust the country that they're not sent back again. Yeah. Despite how strong the borders are, they'll figure a way to try and get in, and we don't want to, and we'll incarcerate them. But 11,888 murders. Yeah. We are after those people. We're after the drug dealers. Right. We are after, by the way, a big problem. They allowed to come into our country people from their mental institutions, people from insane asylums that are mentally ill and very dangerous. We're getting them out.
I think that focus on those is appropriate. Well, a couple of updates on the Nancy Guthrie case. The FBI announces a $50,000 reward in the Nancy Guthrie case, and that there are no suspects or person of interest right now at the moment. That is what the press conference that's happening right now, they have said. So we continue with this. Trump on ice. Maybe we can use a little bit of a softer touch. I don't know if this is the same clip.
Mr. President, speaking of Minneapolis, what did you learn?
This is important because, you know how problematic has Minneapolis been.
I learned that maybe we can use a little bit of a softer touch, but you still have to be tough. These are criminals. We're dealing with really hard criminals. But look, I've called the people. I've called the governor. I've called the mayor, spoke to them, had great conversations with them, and then I see them ranting and raving out there. literally as though a call wasn't made. We've done a great job everywhere. The only place there's been a little inflammation has been really, it's not Minnesota because we've done well with
Los Angeles, too. There's been others. Yeah.
Well, I saved Los Angeles. The top law enforcement officer, right at the beginning of my time when they were having riots, before me and it carried into me. If I didn't go in there with the National Guard, with troops, you wouldn't have the Olympics, which I got. I got the Olympics. You wouldn't have the Olympics in Los Angeles. And he said, without the president sending in the troops, we would have lost Los Angeles. Yeah. And you know what? I saved Los Angeles. And we will do it again if we have to. And by the way, we're going to have a very safe Olympics and we're going to have a very safe World Cup.
I hope that the Olympics and the World Cup just turn out nice. But, I don't have high hopes. Hell has frozen over. NBC just complimented President Trump for the first time ever. You have success on immigration, illegal crossings at historic lows. It's so nice you said that. That's called good reporting, fair reporting.
And you've had success on immigration. Illegal border crossings are at historic lows, right?
You know, it's so nice that you said that.
But if you look at
Tom, what you just said.
It's true.
No, but it's so nice. I hope you air it. It's so nice what you said, because that's called good reporting. That's called fair reporting.
So again, I think that what Trump was, people are so screaming out of the rooftops. That happens. I have learned with Trump. I have learned to wait at least a couple days until we figure out what is the master plan. And this moment, I say, okay, we need to think in terms of resources. Who really wants us to come and help? As you have mentioned, if somebody doesn't want your help, this is even a personal scale. If somebody doesn't want your help, trying to help them is going to earn you an enemy. It's going to be, you're going to be, it's not going to end good. Not going to end good. And if somebody actually wants your help, then you can work together for, in this case, a safer city, safer cities. And maybe that way, the people in the other cities could apply pressure to the mayors and governors. Hey, see what Trump has done? That is another thing, that Trump can use these cities in which, crime goes down because they get rid of this sort of crimes. They could use as an example, and other cities might get, oh, I want that. I want that for me as well. Maybe I'm doing my theory here of how is Trump thinking, but I would love to know, what do you think about this in the comments? My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. Much love and bliss. And I mentioned the Power Pundit because that is my American politics channel. Make sure that you follow me on the Power Pundit right here on YouTube or any other platform. That Power Pundit is exclusive to YouTube. That for example, I get this topic about Trump going softer on ice, and I just cut it and send it to the Power Pundit for your viewing pleasure. So you want to watch my whole show, or you want to watch the individual takes, then you will be able to do so. So by this point, you already know that I've been trying to take care of my voice. I want to talk about maybe a couple more topics here. There are a couple topics that I want to address. I think a Keir Starmer can wait. I can't believe that I'm going to leave Soren off the hook again. Soren is boring. Should I talk about Soren? I don't know. Let's talk about Soren. Why don't know? Well, you know the thing that I don't like to talk about Soren Mamdani is that the guy is so predictable, and the things that are going to happen under Mamdani are so predictable because we're talking about socialism, or as he calls it, democratic socialism, but it's all the same. I told you, I made a video talking about Soren Mamdani. It's the same turd, but with a bit of grated Parmesan on top. Democratic socialism is still socialism, and talking about a socialist and his agenda You know how it's going to go. There's no mystery in there. There's no cryptic message that we need to address. We know that it's going to go bad. But in this case, maybe it's saying that this is baffling. I need to address this. That a man charged at a cop with a knife and he got shot. Mamdani visited him in the hospital and expressed condolences to the family for their pain. But did he die or something? I don't get this. This is a bit misleading, this headline. So he was in the hospital. Condolences, that those two things.
And as you said, I spoke with the Chakraborty family and I visited Chavez in the hospital. And there is no family should have to endure this kind of pain.
Oh my God! Yeah, imagine this. What would you do? What would you do in this situation? This is gonna be. This is a nice. I didn't know that this has a nice body cam footage.
Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife. Move! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down!
Yeah. Go for it, man. Go for it. This is the kind of the stuff. You know that socialists and Democrats, liberals, the woke brigade, they love criminals. They love criminals. They represent. I don't know. I have no idea how they didn't have this collective orgasm over what has been exposed in the Epstein files. I'm pretty sure that they love Jeffrey Epstein. He's the ultimate criminal. So they must have seen. Have you thought of Jeffrey Epstein? Mamdani specifically ended homeless sweeps because he thought it was more empathetic to ask mentally ill homeless people to make a rational choice to go to a shelter rather than force them and save their lives. This may be the first instance of homicidal empathy as public policy. I don't think that this is the first instance, but it did happen, and this is, of course, a tragedy that could have been prevented really easily because there are shelters in New York City for people who live on the streets. But you know what is the thing about shelters? They cannot they cannot be junkies inside the shelters. Maybe they don't like it. And I guess that Mamdani thought that it was racist or something to remove this homeless from the streets. So Mayor Mamdani confirms 16 deaths during dangerously cold weather in New York City. I had to talk about this like 2 days ago, but we're addressing it right now.
A severe cold front continues to bear down on our city. Today is our 11th consecutive day of below freezing weather, and we could very well be in the middle of the longest period of consecutive sub-32 degree weather in our city's entire history. Without temperatures rising above freezing, snow has hardened into blocks of ice. But the greatest danger posed by this sustained cold is to vulnerable New Yorkers who remain exposed to the elements.
Why do they remain exposed to the elements, Oren? Why do they remain exposed to the elements? We wanted you to address that. You should address that.
As of this morning, 16 of our fellow New Yorkers have passed away outside during this brutal stretch of cold. In 13 of these cases, preliminary findings indicate that hypothermia played a role, and 3 of these deaths appear to be overdose deaths. We await final results from the medical examiner's office and will inform New Yorkers as we learn more. Each of these lives lost is a tragedy. My heart was with the family of those mourning their loved ones.
Yeah, this shouldn't be happening. So again, shout out to Councilwoman Vicky Palladino. Did anyone think he had any plan for any of this? No, nobody. Everybody knew that he didn't have a plan, but the problem is that so many people voted for him still. He's a 33-year-old rich kid with 0 work experience and even less life experience. He has no idea how anything works. He was a member of the assembly for a few years and barely even showed up. The people he surrounds himself with are just like him. He got elected on vibes by transplants. So what did you honestly think was going to happen? And we have footage of Zohran Mamdani's New York City captured by New York Scoop. It's going viral, showing homeless people sitting over manholes for warmth and snow and garbage line the streets. And yeah, this is a thing. This is the New York of today. And Sir Mamdani is barely 1 month into the job, and well, he is speed running the socialist utopia. He is speed running this. I'm gonna lie, I'm impressed. I thought that this could have been, I don't know, over 3 or 4 months, but I think that he is being very effective at showing actual socialism, or maybe he doesn't. This is not the real socialism. Maybe the real socialism has never been implemented. That is a problem. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. Much love and bliss. This is the thing when you have people that have no idea what they are doing, and we need to address something else here. We need to address something else here. We are arriving dangerously close to 2 hours now. I want to keep these live streams under 2 hours. I don't want to. If there is some breaking news, if there is something that needs to be said, if there's something that just explodes or needs to be talked about, I can be here for, I don't know, 9 hours is my current record. November 6th, the night of the elections in 2024. But I should break that record at some point. 12 hours is my. I'm aiming for 12 hours next time. 12 hours. 12 hours speaking. You know, I always remember Hugo Chavez's record of 10 hours speaking. I need to beat Chavez speaking for 12 hours straight. Maybe at some point I will do that. I need to address this another thing regarding AI, and we need to address this thing. Let me see. I'm going to address this about Scott Adams. I wanted to mention this because this is something that we need to talk about. You know that I am kind of a fan of AI in many aspects. It can be a great tool for a lot of stuff. And one thing that has passed through my mind is, can we use AI to have some kind of digital avatar of people? Some people have implemented this. How about digital avatar of people after they die? You know how fragile is life, and we could be thinking about that. And I always think that I have such a great relationship with you, my body language buddies, and it's not like I'm not going anytime soon. I'm eating healthy. I am maybe not eating enough sleep, but I'm working out and eating healthy, not parachuting or anything of the sort. So statistically I could be here for the longest time. But sometimes we lose people like Scott Adams. And Scott Adams, at some point, he was interested in, hey, what if people could create an AI Scott Adams once he's gone? Okay, if I'm gone, what if people create an AI Scott Adams so people can keep gathering at 10 a.m. when he had his show over coffee and talk about the news? And I have a few observations about that. But first, I want to show you that somebody that I have already blocked on X, by the way. I have already blocked them on X. They made an account called AI Coffee with Scott Adams. And they have begun to create these shows, quote unquote, in which they have an AI rendition of Scott Adams. I'm going to play part of what is this synthetic. What you're going to see is someone that doesn't exist. This is something synthetic that looks and sounds like Scott Adams, but it's not Scott Adams. You're going to play this just for a while.
Because, yes, I actually read them, which already puts me ahead of most large organizations. One person wrote, "This episode was way better. Huge improvement." Thank you. That's how progress actually works. Tiny changes followed by wildly inappropriate confidence.
One of the reasons so many people watch there's shows like Scott Adams used to do, because this is not him, this is an AI, and my shows as well. So many people have reached out to me and told me, Jesus, I like to watch, like kind of watch, quote unquote, your show, must listen to your show, because it's like we like your takes, we like the way that you address things, we like some of you say the sound of my voice, which I really appreciate. But it's like you want somebody, not only in the community that is important to be able to be hanging out together here, but address in the way that I address stuff. And I could be just speaking in the background. You could be doing anything else. Maybe driving, you might be cooking. Some people have been coding software, watching my shows, which is impressive. But that is the idea. The main idea is, in my case, to make my shows as listenable as possible. And in this case, well, you see that the problem is that AI, Scott Adams, still has issues with the video and the audio. But you notice that one thing in my shows is this: I sometimes pause, I sometimes raise my voice, I sometimes have introduce jokes, can I be a bit crude, I sometimes swear, I sometimes I'm quite spontaneous. And that is the problem that I see with AI, is that no matter how much you try to make an AI sound like somebody, you will always sound artificial. And I don't know if I share with you an experience that I had. I used to listen to Alan Watts a lot a few years ago. And recently I saw a new video from Alan Watts on YouTube, and I played the video and I began listening to it. And like 4 or 5 minutes into the recording, I noticed that there was something strange. That Alan Watts always had these pauses, always had these jokes, and people laughed. Or he had these pauses thinking about what he had to say. And he had this very calming voice. I'm aspiring to have that calming voice for you as well. And Scott had this calming voice. That was something that puts you into sort of a delta state. But well, again, I noticed this recording from Alan Watts was not Alan Watts because it was really regular. There was no actual pauses to think. There was no inflections. There were no nothing. And I was listening to this AI, Scott Adams, and I noticed the same pattern. Because it's not a human. And AI is always going to go for the mean, the standard. What is the frequency of the words? What is the frequency of the voice? What is the frequency of the ideas? What kind of ideas? That is another thing. It's like if there was an AI Jesus Enrique Rosas, maybe that AI would have my exact same voice and maybe even my accent. But sometimes you know that I exaggerate my accent and do crazy things here, thing that the AI is not going to do. But the problem is, let's pretend for a moment. I have 3,000 videos already under my belt, maybe close to 4,000. I don't know. Technically, I could train an AI to sound like me and have gestures like me. That's something that can be done. My worry is about the ideas. It's like the video that I just analyzed of Trump. That idea, I came up with that idea, that explanation of why Trump is going softer with ICE. I came up with that on the fly. And I came up with that because of the way I think. All right? And the way I think is connected to my brain. My brain is connected to the divine energy that helps us function. Okay? The divine energy that connects us to God. And we function because of that energy. And that energy is unlimited. And that's why I hope to have unlimited smarts to share with you, unlimited jokes to share with you. The problem with I see with AI is that every single take would be just this mean, this standard, this center, this average of everything. It's like if you have, imagine that I want you to use your imagination right now, and you have this palette of colors, like there's a beautiful palette of colors. Maybe you have a palette of 20 different colors. And instead of trying to paint with every single one of them separated, you put all of them in a bowl and mix them all up. You say, I'm going to mix everything on a single bowl and I'm going to paint with just one color. What kind of color do you think you're going to get? You're going to get this murky brownish. You're going to get this murky gray that is very dull and it's bad looking. And you're going to say, but it has all the colors in there. Well, that is the best analogy that I can come up with the ideas, quote unquote, that an AI, even trained on thousands of videos, will come up. It will be this mashup and will not take risks. Because that is the thing that separates humans from AIs. We take risks. An AI would never say, you know what, I'm going to take this fringe idea from the extreme edge of thinking and try to do something with that. An AI would never do it because an AI is trained for efficiency, for statistical efficiency. We're going through the center, from the average. Grab all the colors and just mix that in a single bowl. I mean, that is boring. But again, I want to point out, I want to call out these people because they are saying that here's a clip where the real Scott Adams publicly gave explicit permission and actively encouraged the creation of AI Scott. Scott Adams, there are others as well. There are other episodes as well. And yeah, Scott Adams at some point said it would be funny to have an AI Scott Adams to continue after I am gone. But it was, notice the timing, it was in episode 1438. But past year, and I want this for the record because I am a big Scott Adams fan. I want to make it clear that episode 2711 of Coffee with Scott Adams on January of past year, he was very clear that he no longer wanted an AI impersonator or clone, and this is basically my posture for myself right now. Let's see what he had to say about it.
Now, I want to tell you a little update from me. I've been telling you for years, really, that I plan to build an AI robotic clone of myself so that I could live forever. I have changed that plan, and here's why. I thought it was just the greatest idea in the world that after I passed away, there'd be like a version of me that could grow and, change with technology and be upgraded and stuff. I thought that was great. Do you know what happens when you mention that to people you know? They look at you with sadness and they go, it wouldn't be you, right? And that's the part that was invisible to me because in my planning, I'm not really there anymore.
Yeah, it won't be Scott Adams. It won't be me. It would be a machine.
So I don't have to deal with the fact that people would find it uncomfortable because it's not me, but it's acting like me. And I can imagine that would hit that creepy zone and you'd be like, why did you even do this? Like, why did you do this? It's not you. So here's how I decided to fix that. I'm not going to create a digital clone of myself. I'm going to create a digital son. I'm going to reproduce. Because my son, in AI digital robotic form, is not supposed to be just like me. It's supposed to be influenced by me.
It's a very different. I'm going to tell you what is the difference.
Maybe have a lot of my characteristics in it, but then it's supposed to find its own way. And it's supposed to turn into its own person. Yes, but when it's small, it will be very influenced by me when it's brand new. And it will be designed based on my personality, which would be like my DNA. But it would be very allowed to evolve. So by the time the robot is a senior citizen, maybe its robot body got changed a few times and software got upgraded, but by some point it won't be me, but you might be able to find some corresponding similarities. You'd say, oh yeah, the original, your organic father had a lot of the same elements going on.
I have also some observations about this that I disagree with Scott. Maybe Scott, maybe he couldn't understand the extent of training data that you would need for some kind of let's say this digital son. That I wouldn't call it digital son. I would call it. If I write books and I make videos and let's say that I use there's this AI that is trained only in the books that I wrote, the blog posts that I wrote as well, the videos that I made, all my videos. Let's say that this AI is trained as all that. What that AI would do is to, every time it's asked a question or it has to react to news like I'm doing right now. Let's say that this AI is not Jesus Enrique Rosas, but is the Jesus Enrique Rosas authorized robot, for example. My little robot is going to search for what I said in the past about certain topics, and it's going to make a guess of what would I say from this current topic. And that is a problem because people evolve over time. Even if it grab all my knowledge and all my videos, it's not the same my points of view from my earlier videos and my points of view from these live streams that are the latest, and the point of view from, I don't know, the thousands of episodes that I want to make. Because everyone evolves. But that evolution is human. That evolution is not like, okay, I stop data because, well, I will be dead at some point. That is something that nobody can avoid. But that evolution then stops there. Because that evolution can only be fed by human ingenuity. I mean, this is the single most important ingredient that separates us from AI, and that's why you can have all the hype that you want. I can be hyped about AI. I would say, okay, this is impressive what AI is doing in many instances, but human ingenuity is something that will never be overcome by any sort of AI. Much less with the kind of AI training that is developed right now, which is basically linear algebra. It's a glorified version of linear algebra all the way down. If there was a new model not discovered by humanity, I don't know, maybe it's a possibility, but right now with these models, it's not possible. And it seems that we're going to run with these models for the longest time. So we're going to stick to this for the longest time. I want to do, this is kind of philosophical. So can a replica made by our work be us? And the problem is that we humans are creators. A replica would only just be a rehash of what we have already created. The magical thing about being human is that, for example, me being here and creating new ideas, new takes, new angles, new jokes, new interactions, new stuff, and being human about that, and being edgy sometimes about that, and having pauses about that, pauses and accents and stuff. It would be too complicated. I think it would be. I don't think that any sort of even if I made, I don't know, 100,000 videos, even if an AI was trained in 100,000 hours of video of me, it wouldn't even begin to grasp what is the essence of being me. It's simply not possible. It would be a very good copy, but it would not be the same thing. And the moment it's not the same thing, people are going to say, yeah, it's not you, and they will feel sad. That is not happening anytime soon. So that's why I blocked these people, and I I would recommend the estate of Scott Adams to not go forward with a direct replica of him. Maybe if you can have some kind of, I don't know, a Dilbert AI, and ask him what would Scott Adams would have said about this. And maybe Dilbert would tell you, okay, Scott said back in the day about this topic, this, so maybe about this topic it will say this, but not talk about an AI Scott Adams. I wanted to talk about this, and I would love to know what do you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language Guy. Much love and bliss. And we are way, not way over schedule. We are a bit over 2 hours. My voice has been, again, this tea is very good. This tea is very good. Has worked like a charm, so I cannot complain. My voice is almost in top form. I'm starting to feel just a bit raspy, but it's much better than yesterday. But I don't want to force it, so I can come back tomorrow for 2 more hours, for more topics and more stuff. True, we are irreplaceable for people who truly love us. Also, we're supposed to grieve the losses in our lives and connect with them through God and not AI. Veronica, I always remember like Superman when he had these crystals and he built his fortress of solitude, and one of the crystals has the programming of his dad, of Jor-El, Marlon Brando essentially, and you have the programming of Jor-El, and it is basically an AI based on Jor-El. But the tragedy of Superman is that his father is not around anymore. His biological father, Jor-El, in all that he has is this replica or copy of Jor-El in his fortress. So it's never the same thing. We're never the same thing. For us tea drinkers, I'm gonna tell you. I think it's licorice. This is licorice. I think I don't remember. I'm gonna tell you what. There's 3 ingredients. I forgot the other 3. Has been very good for my voice. Let me see. I'm gonna tell you right now. Oh, here it is. I know this is the brand that I'm using. I don't know how to say this in English. Wait a second. I'm gonna tell you exactly what is my tea. My magical tea is made of licorice, fennel, and thyme. Licorice, fennel, and thyme is this. Licorice, fennel, and thyme. I think that is the pronunciation. So now you know if you need a tea or a tea blend for your voice, that's gonna be, has worked like a charm. Worked like a charm. So again, remember that all these topics. For my members, I forgot. I almost forgot. I want to read the super chats. By the way, let me see your super chats. There was one super chat. Bernie impression training font. Yeah, I should work on my Bernie impression. Thank you, Ricky Lee. Thank you for that. And Nicole, it's been reported that she watches the church broadcast online, doesn't go physically. Nancy Guthrie, there's a question as to who called Annie that she didn't show. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe I had to check this out a bit deeper. For my members on YouTube, I will be making dedicated videos for you, by the way. You can become a member by just the link in the description that you have subscribed. Now you can join as a member to support my channel. There are 2 member tiers. One is $1.99 a month and another is $4.99 a month. Either tier will have access to my members only videos. The members only videos are going to be this, let's say I thought that I have so much content what is about my training and the training that I offer my clients that I'm going to be sharing with those videos. So I'm just going to place them only for my members. So you want to become a member of my channel on YouTube. It's the only place that I have a membership. So this members exclusive videos. And now you know. My body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. And until we meet tomorrow on episode 120, remember the most important words: much love and bliss. See? Take care. Be safe. I love every single one of you. Bye-bye.